Hi everyone, Akshay here, and today I'm going to give you a quick tour of how Haystack works. Haystack is an AI native review platform where you can review any pull request without having to read every changed line of code. And to begin with, you can kind of see this standard summary view. In this case, we're looking at a PR from Haystack, meaning we're looking at Haystack code that's being reviewed here. And in this case, this code improves light mode text contrast in review UI. It was done by Claude Code. So the way you primarily operate through Haystack is through this chat window on the left. So to begin with, you click this button and you get a PR summary. This is also pretty standard, I think. The neat thing about Haystack is we link every piece of information in the summary for you to be able to easily navigate. So for example, if I'm interested in the changes in this modal container, I can just click here and it opens up the diff directly. And you can kind of see how Haystack is like this editor view. So you don't have to scroll up and down like a crazy person. And so in this way, you can easily look at changes that you care about. Haystack also describes the changes in different sections, and you can obviously follow up in the chat window. But the thing is, most PRs, you review the diffs and you don't have a great sense of what's going on. Like, for example, here, the text code changes, I can make heads or tails of what they actually mean. So the neat thing about Haystack is it also allows you to verify code. And we do this by spinning up a sandbox for every PR. If you're making a change through a background agent, we actually hook into your sandbox too. And so in this way, you can actually look at the changes in real time. In this case, it's a front-end change, so we're going to look at the browser. For a back-end change, you would look at like test output that we generate during analysis. So this is kind of Haystackception, where you have Haystack on like a bigger wrapper Haystack, then you have the specific local Haystack. So here in this browser view, like I said, this pull request is about light mode contrast. So we're going to take a look at light mode contrast. And actually, I can see that the coding agent who made this pull request actually made a mistake here. They didn't fix this. So the neat thing about Haystack is it's also the last mile sort of for getting a code in production. And so you can make quick edits. I'm not going to say this is a great coding editor interface. You can make quick edits to get the pull request to the finish line. So for the browser, I can use this element selector here. Click on this, it copies the element. I paste, and then I ask it to make the text contrast here better in light mode. This is kind of a bad prompt, but let's see how it does. So the neat thing about Haystack is there's not a lot of setup that you have to do in order to make the sandboxes work. You just have to run two commands, you can copy paste them, and your coding agent will actually do the majority of the work to set up Haystack to work for your use case. Obviously, if you have authentication and stuff, that'll involve a little bit more involvement from a human being, which is, I presume, you. But in general, your coding agent can handle the setup for Haystack. If you have any questions about how to get this working correctly for your repo, obviously, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help out. So as we're waiting for this open code to make the change, we can see that it did make the change and it did actually fix the text contrast. So in this way, Haystack is a great way to make the edits necessary to get the pull request to the finish line. And that's kind of the end goal of Haystack, which is a verification layer for changes from whether that's from a human being, through an AI agent, of course, or from a background agent. That's irrelevant. This is kind of the last stop where you can hunker down and verify and review before something makes it to production. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much. If you have any feedback, I'd obviously love to hear it. And have a good rest of your day.